The biggest names in the music industry are being exposed, and the lengths parents would go to just for money and fame will shock you. This is the story of how Usher's mom gave up her son and started a cycle of abuse that plagues minors in Hollywood to this day. What happened to Usher at Diddy's flavor camp? And what was Diddy doing to minors?
On that man, Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, and I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there, you got Craig Mack in there. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? We was fighting.
Usher first stepped into the music industry as a young kid, managed by his mom. Soon after, he was signed to L.A. Reid, the same executive who would later sign Justin Bieber. However, right after getting signed, Usher lost his voice. This is when he and his mom first met Diddy. Diddy asked Usher's mom to let Usher live with him, promising to help the young singer's career. Now, keep in mind, by this point, everyone had an idea of the kind of person Diddy was. It made no sense to let your 13-year-old son live with a random stranger. But Usher's mom didn't seem to care what happened to him, as long as she could profit from his success. She sent Usher to live with Diddy, completely unsupervised.
Actually say, you're too close to the project. No, I'm not. Because remember, Usher went to stay with Puffy. Now that was a business decision right there, because I didn't know Puffy. I didn't know him.
How old was he?
Usher was 15. He lost his voice.
Physically or just?
Puberty. He's growing and he lost his voice. So he lost his range. So the record company felt like, okay, this is not a great investment. So Puffy was there, and I will never forget it. We had this conversation and he said, you're going to have to trust me. That was really, really a hard decision.
Rather than do what was best for her son, Usher's mom made a business decision, sending her 13-year-old to live with arguably the worst influence in the music industry. In her own words, she didn't know Diddy. She didn't know what he wanted to do with Usher. But she sent him away anyway. Allegedly, this is when Diddy taught Usher about sex. Yes, you read that right. Diddy reportedly instructed a 13-year-old Usher on sex. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Usher said living at Flavor Camp with Diddy taught him everything he knows about sex. There were always girls around. You'd open a door and see somebody doing it, or several people in a room having an orgy. You never knew what was going to happen.
To New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
What
like
a
living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Usher stayed with Diddy, and when his debut album dropped, Diddy used his connections to help it go viral. In return, Usher allegedly had to remain under Diddy's control and do whatever he demanded. Around the same time, disturbing rumors began circulating, claims that Diddy was allegedly abusing Usher. These rumors have persisted for over 20 years. Sources close to Diddy, including his bodyguards, as well as Usher's own interviews, suggest Diddy behaved suspiciously around the teenage star. Tragically, Usher wasn't the first, and wouldn't be the last, child star Diddy exploited.
I know, and people know, that was around in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp.
There were even reports that an incident involving Diddy sent Usher to the hospital. Some industry insiders have spoken out, saying they heard about a kid living with Diddy who had to be hospitalized after an alleged assault involving the producer.
Because I know the topic is sensitive. What happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something. They may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking, and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, "Yo, I don't F with that dude." And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when people say, "Yo, man, I don't F with them niggas, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that." You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent her to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened.
Thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shouts out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, just let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he
Documents have leaked about Usher. They were obtained by Radar Online, and apparently back in 2009 or 2010, he had contracted herpes and passed it on to a celebrity stylist having unprotected sex with her. He had to pay $1.1 million to that woman for severe emotional distress, and he also covered her medical bills. That case was settled back in 2012. Now, allegedly, there was a greenish discharge from his penis.
Whoa, that's a booger. You can get penis boogers? I didn't know that.
He said he went to the doctor. He was cleared of any STDs, so the woman went on and continued. Now, if I notice a greenish discharge oozing out of your penis.
Exactly. This ain't Nickelodeon.
I don't know that I would
ain't
continue.
slime.
What you gonna say,
I know all these kids playing with slime nowadays, but no.
I don't care who you are, okay?
Nothing green supposed to be coming out your penis.
Nah, not at all.
That's not how this works.
Nope.
Yellow comes out my penis and white. That's it.
We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you seen Busta at the airport too. That motherfucker tried to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
And Cat Williams. What's his name?
Bro, you smashing a lot of people.
What's that name? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a good.
So just show you this montage. This is a montage that was shared by Evie Magazine. They do great work on their TikTok of Justin Bieber, again, just 15 years old, in Hollywood, surrounded by a bunch of adults. And you let me know if any of this registers to you as normal. Take a listen.
Wow. I feel violated right now. Wow.
Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. Yeah, look at what a beautiful face.
For a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship, custody of him, and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. There.
First time you met Justin Bieber, this kid comes up to you. He's not Justin Bieber yet. He's just some kid. And he says, I want to sing for you.
It was at the studio of Jermaine Dupri's. I said, why don't you set up a meeting between me and your manager? I'd love to meet with you and do this in a formal setting. I'm late for an appointment with Jermaine Dupri.
Right.
And I don't want to keep him waiting. Let's just do this the right way.
And then you have him come to audition for you, right?
Actually, there were a few people. My wife at the time.
Right.
It also was Perry Reed, L.A. Reid's first wife.
So you were all sitting in a room somewhere.
We were in a room.
Yeah.
And I showed her the video. And Perry says, are you crazy? You better get down there and meet this kid right now. He's amazing.
When all these dick pics come out and all this stuff with Bieber's big penis, are you the mastermind behind that? Say, listen, show off your big penis and people will come to those concerts. Or are you sitting there?
Is that the kind of managing he's doing?
Usher, are you sitting down with him and saying, yeah, show your or leave it in your pants? I mean, do you sit him down and say, look, part of this is PR,
Hey,
man.
by the way, he does have a brain of his own.
Yeah, but were you shocked at the size of his penis?
Hey, listen, he has a mind of his own. What he chose to do with his penis is his prerogative. He's managing that aspect of his life.
But Usher is somebody...
I have nothing to do with Justin Bieber's private parts, man. Come on.
Justin trusted Usher and was inspired by Diddy, but both of them betrayed him. Recent stars now in the music industry and keep them safe.
I think that I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff of my past, and I wasn't able to move on.
Do you think the person that the you of then was on a path of self-destruction?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%, yeah. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive, for sure. It was dark, but I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully learn from it.
Well, for me, music comes from somewhere.
Right.
Maybe it comes from this youthful naivety and this desire to escape something.
Oh.
And then you get out there in front of the world, and then it comes from a place of wanting more of it.
Yeah. I mean, just think about how young I was and so impressionable. And you have everybody telling me how awesome I am at all times, and I just want people to understand, the psychology behind why I potentially could have problems in my life. So, yeah, thank you for being here and helping me tell that story. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Do you realize how important your story is? Every time I have a conversation with someone who's been through this unique type of experience, I'm searching for some kind of truth that can help.
I commend you for going there and asking the tough questions and the things that people don't want to talk about, and they don't want to go there because it's revealing, and I want people to take a look at my story, and hopefully my words can can make a difference.
Either have to be naked on stage during one full song, or drink a cup of blended worms. Answer Justin Bieber.
I have like little girl fans. I can't go.
Okay, imagine that.
You know I got bullied.
Hey, this is a brand new.
Has your mom given you the sex talk yet? I mean, like, I really don't want to have that conversation with my mother. Yeah. Like, I've kind of had it with my father. You want to hear? Oh, really? See, my parents never gave me the sex talk. Okay.
That last one is really just the sickest, asking a young teenage boy whether or not he's had the sex talk. Like, he's doing a media hit on a radio, and she's asking him as one of the questions, like, have you had the sex talk? This is Hollywood for you.
Do you know Raymond Usher IV?
No.
Do you know an individual, an entertainer by the name of Usher?
Yeah, Usher. That sounds familiar.
Isn't it true that Usher was instrumental in starting your career?
What does that have to do with this litigation, Mr. DeKalb? This is just you trying to harass the client.
Before we came back here, you had asked me.
She's going to
let her read back the question. Thank you for your memory.
Is it true that Usher was very instrumental in starting your career?
That was the last question.
I was found on YouTube. I think that I was detrimental to my own.
Justin Bieber is continuing the purge. He has now moved to unfollow Usher, okay, his original mentor. So this is a very big story. And the reason why we should discuss this and we should not diminish what is happening, it's not celebrity drama. This is actually the fall of Babylon that we are witnessing, Hollywood Babylon, that is. Something happened in the background and people started noticing some things last year. In 2024, you guys will remember that Usher was tapped to perform at the Super Bowl. And people therefore assumed, because usually when you are tapped to perform the Super Bowl, you bring in all your hits, you call up all your homies, there's all of these guest surprises of people jumping on stage, and it's a trip down memory lane. So everyone was really hyped and assuming that Justin Bieber would be on the stage with him, especially because Justin Bieber went to this Super Bowl. So the signs were there. But then news began breaking that actually, no, Justin Bieber had snubbed him, that he had turned down Usher. People were wondering if this was true or just, usual rumor mill in the media. But then Usher confirmed it on the Breakfast Club. Kind of seemed like he was trying to make it seem like it wasn't a big deal, that here I am the mentor and he turned me down. Here is what Usher said explaining that on the Breakfast Club.
Why didn't things work out with Justin Bieber?
You know what? They did work out with Justin. I honored and recognized that my brother, I think that it might have been the fact that he was just, wanting to tell a different story right now. There's no love lost or anything like that.
Seems like he's struggling to find words there, doesn't it? He's saying, I think that maybe he's just trying to write a different story. What does that mean? I think that. You've been his mentor for decades. Shouldn't you know that? Almost decades, right? Shouldn't you know the reason why he didn't want to perform with you? Saying that he's trying to write a different story. What does that mean? Clearly, Justin Bieber was already pulling back. Justin Bieber turned 15, and it suddenly seemed that Hollywood was keen to almost initiate him. I think that's the right word. Like there was almost like this initiation that he needed to go through. So I want you to be now super uncomfortable and watch this video of an interaction between him and none other than Diddy. Take a listen.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go buck full crazy.
You gotta trademark that. But is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him.
Diddy Combs looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael. You'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in drug-fueled sex performances called FreakOffs, not coerced, as prosecutors allege.
The trial starts and the jury sits. Will they be shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Like during
100% in court in front of a room of people. And so that's the other thing that's awful. They are going to be watching basically porn for hours on end in front of people. So in front of victim one, whoever it may be, there's going to be porn played in the federal courtroom.
And victim one would have been made aware of this.
Oh, 100%. She's probably being told right now, like, this is going to be played in open court. Your sex history, your sex life is going to be talked about in open court. All of this.
And presumably then she knows that and she's pushing forward because she hasn't withdrawn.
But don't forget this. It doesn't matter if she does or she doesn't. This isn't a civil case. This is the criminal case. So she could flat out tell the federal government, I don't want to participate. And they can say, we don't care. This is a crime. Crimes are against the United States, not against them. Keep calling her victim one, but don't forget, she's a witness to a crime. So it doesn't matter if she went to them in today and said, I'm not participating. Their response, we don't